A country and its people. Iran at the intersection of tradition and change.
The architecture here is a masterpiece of natural adaptation.
Hidden beyond the reach of most roads is a place so remote it was once thought to be devoid of life. Not a tree, not a soul.
Intertwined with Islamic art. It is a city that does not belong to one culture, but to many.
Today we will talk about what is the mentality of the Iranian people, the Persian people.
Among places where architecture is either man-made or carved by the passage of time, Khandavan stands out as a unique wonder.
According to our previous documentary or our researches, that Iran is a land of undefeated people, of that kind of a Sigma mentality, people who will never accept the defeat or who will never accept the foreign forces. So if we will talk about their previous vision, that Iranians from 550 BC, when the Cyrus the Great founded the Iran, the Persian Empire, the first biggest historical empire in that era. From that time, if we look after that Cyrus the Great, then Persians had a lot of wars with the ancient Greek. Then after that, the Persia, a lot of people are claiming that Alexander the Great captured the Persia, but a lot of writers are claiming that Persia was not captured because of the Afghanistan. So from that history, from 600, when the Caliph system came, the Muslim dynasty came, 600 to 1800, especially the Safavid Empire, as we talked in the previous documentary. When the Safavid Empire came, they influenced the Shia school of thought here, the Shia sect here. Then they had a lot of conflicts with the Ottoman empires, the other Asian empires, but they never accepted the defeat. They never accepted the slavery, they never accepted to bow their heads, to down their heads in front of any foreign power who tried to capture them by force, by pressurizing them, or using the cup power to bring them to their knees. After 600 to 1800, it was influenced by the Shia school of thought. After that, it was influenced and interference was made by the British Empire from 1800 till to 1953. And in the last, in 1953, the Shah Mohammad Reza Shah, the royal family system, was brought by the British Empire.
Inside, our minders introduce us to someone who says he knew him.
But usually indecisive ministers and outlawing political parties. In 1975, all adult men must join the Shah's Rastakhi's party.
And the Persian Muslim ideological people was overthrown from their crown. And when Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the royal family king, was brought in 1953, then he reigned the Persian Empire, the Iran, for 2 to 3 decades. Then the Islamic Revolution takes place.
U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities, Bordeaux, Natanz, and Esfahan. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
جغرافیای ایرانم در نقطه حساسی است. چهارراه دنیاست، هم از زمین، هوا.
In total, U.S. forces employed approximately 75 precision-guided weapons during this operation.
For 2 to 3 decades, then the Islamic Revolution takes place. When the Islamic Revolution took place there,
to Israel's very survival.
In and around the capital, Tehran.
My position is very simple. The world's #1 sponsor of terror can never be allowed to possess the most dangerous weapon.
پیام ما به دولت تهران نداریم. کسی تسلیم این حرفا نمیشه.
From that time to till now, you can see the cultural values, the cultural norms, the traditional norms and values, the traditional standards of the Iranian people, that their mentality level is created in that way that they never accept the defeat.
We must not allow Iran to rebuild its military nuclear capacities. Iran's stockpiles of enriched uranium, these stockpiles must be eliminated.
They never accept the force, they never accept the pressure from the other powers. So from here you can imagine that the Persian Empire.
an empire that etches its name into eternity.
The Persian Empire never accepted the slavery of other nations. So if we'll talk about the recent ceasefire, my analysis says that the ceasefire will never be maintained. Maybe there will be a dialogues for the ceasefire, for which will have the ceasefire treaty among the nations for a very, very short period of time, not for a long period of time. Because if we'll talk about the ideology of the Israelis ministers, their ideology is quite clear. Their ideological view, their state's point of view, their religious point of view is quite clear. They want a great Israel, and they want to expand their boundaries up to every extent. They will die for expanding their boundaries because of their religious thoughts. Their religious people, their religious scholars are pursuing them to die for their land, to expand the boundaries, to achieve their mission which they want to be, which they want to have, just like the greater Israel achievement which they want to achieve in their life, because this is the main reason for their conflicts, for the unrestlessness in the world. On the other hand, if we look at the Iranian people, if you look at the Iranian minister's point of view, that their first priority during the ceasefire statements is that they will leave the Iran in peace, and they will not let the Israel to expand their boundaries. Means that Israel will never be allowed to expand their boundaries because the Iranians don't want it. So if we'll look at the both parties, the both groups' ideologies, one wants to expand his boundaries till to his last breath, to sacrifice himself. Other wants to not expand their boundaries until their last breath, even though from both sides of the groups both want to die for this ideology, for expansion of the boundaries. One wants to stop the expansion of the boundaries, one wants to expand the boundaries. So here the ideological clash arises. Because of that ideological clash, the conflict will never stop, and it will be maintained, it will be continue for a very longer period of time. So today's documentary was especially about the cultural, the traditional norms, the psychological standards, the mentality level of the Iranian people, that how they survived throughout the history, how they are surviving in the history.